Is your KDP account safe? I see it more and more that people are having their Amazon accounts shut down, and I want to give you a few tips to let you know what to do to keep your account safe so that this doesn't happen to you. Take a look at the video. Hello Home Bosses, my name is Nuria Corby from thehomeboss.com. Welcome to my channel, which is all about helping you to make money online. We talk about KDP and low content books a lot on this channel, and recently I have seen a lot of messages from people whose accounts have been shut down due to things that they've done that are wrong. So I wanted to make a video to let you know a few tips on how to keep your account safe. So tip number 1, read Amazon's terms of service. I find that a lot of people really don't know Amazon's rules and regulations, and they're asking questions that they should really know because if you read their terms, you would know the answer to those questions. Amazon has a lot of rules and you have to follow those rules. Otherwise, you are putting your account at risk, because if you break any of the rules, Amazon will really take a very negative view of that and just shut down your account. In the worst case scenario, sometimes they will let you know what you've done wrong, but very often they don't tell you what that is. And you should know from reading their terms that there are certain things that you can't do on Amazon. So my advice is, first of all, before you even start on KDP, have a look at Amazon's terms and read them very carefully. At the end of the day, you're getting into a legal contract with Amazon when you sign up for KDP. And if you're signing a legal contract, you usually need to read what this contract says. Now, a lot of people I know have never read the Amazon terms, and to be honest, I didn't read them at the beginning either. I signed up for KDP and I read the terms afterwards, and that's not really how this should be done. But I admit that I have made the same mistake. But as soon as I started KDP, I then did read the terms to familiarize myself with what is allowed and what isn't allowed. And also Amazon has got a really good help page that you can use. I will leave a link to Amazon's help page under the video, so you can go on that. And it tells you any updates, so any news that you should know about. This is always very useful. And on the left-hand side, you've got all the help topics. So any questions that you have, there should be an answer right here on Amazon. And they go into everything in detail. So any questions you have, check here first. And you can also ask in my Facebook group. I'll leave the link to that below the video too. But I would really suggest that the first thing you need to do when you sign up for Amazon KDP and you want to publish low content books, please read the terms, because that is very important. You need to know what the terms are in order to publish safely on Amazon. So tip number 2, don't copy. What do I mean by don't copy? Well, it's very easy to do your research on Amazon when you want to create a low content book and you see a book that you really like and you think, I'm going to use this title, or I'm going to make a similar book. And unfortunately, a lot of people do this the wrong way. They start copying things that they shouldn't be copying. Always make your book very different to any other book that you've seen. If you get inspiration from a book on Amazon, your book should look completely different to that book. You can get inspired by a niche or by a book, by a title, but your version should always look very different to the original. And by not copying, I also mean check that you're not infringing on any trademarks or copyright. If you search my YouTube channel, I've got a video on copyright and trademark infringement, and even if you look on YouTube generally, there are a lot of very helpful videos regarding copyright and trademark and what you need to do to check that you're safe. If you publish any books that have any copyrighted content or trademarked content, you can be sure that Amazon will not like that if the trademark holder or copyright holder complains to them. You will see a lot of books on Amazon that have copyrighted and trademarked content, and you can see a lot of books that include Disney or Marvel or any other trademarked content, and you probably think, well, if they can do it, why can't I do it? It means that Amazon hasn't caught them yet. You know, when the trademark holder lets Amazon know that this is on Amazon, Amazon will be very quick to block your book, and you're putting your account at risk. And it's not only your account that is at risk, but the trademark holder can sue you for a lot of money, and the loss of your KDP account will be the last of your worries. So be very careful when you use trademarked or copyright material, because you can really get into a lot of trouble with that. So always check that what you're using is not trademarked and that it hasn't been used by somebody else before. And this is why it's also very important when you're using ready-made interiors that you always modify them. Now, when I say ready-made interiors, there are some interiors that you can use without modifying them. For example, if you use lined note paper is nothing really that you can modify in a big way. You could add some little graphics to it, but a lined notebook is a lined notebook, and Amazon will let you have that. That's not a problem if other people also upload lined notebooks. And the same goes for graph paper, for dot grid paper, for story paper or sheet music, anything like that. You can upload and other people will have the same interior as you. I would say that it always pays to have some kind of page that is at the beginning of your book that is personalized to your books. So you could have this book belongs to page, or you could have a page that explains a little bit on how to use your book, just to make your book a little bit different to other generic books. But those are the kind of interiors that you can use without necessarily modifying them. But if it's something like a logbook or something like, especially like a coloring book or an activity book, make sure that your book is completely different to somebody else's. And this is why I don't often use interiors from Creative Fabrica, for example, because you will have to modify them to make them different to other people's books. Because imagine this, somebody will go on Creative Fabrica, buy a ready-made interior and upload it onto Amazon KDP, and somebody else will do exactly the same thing, and possibly dozens of people will do the same thing. So then you have a book on Amazon where the interior is absolutely the same as somebody else's. Even though the cover is different, the interior will be exactly the same, and that is not good because it's not a lined notebook or a generic book where the interior can be the same. But if it's a logbook or a coloring book or an activity book or a planner, you really want to make this different to everybody else's. So if you're buying ready-made interiors, always modify them. And as I said, the exceptions are lined notebooks, graph paper, lined journals, dot grid paper, that kind of thing. But other than that, always modify a ready-made interior. The other thing that is to do with uploading content that has already been uploaded onto Amazon is public domain books, or PLR. Please read the Amazon terms on public domain books. It is not as simple as uploading a book that has already been published again on Amazon. I have seen YouTube channels that suggest that all you have to do is go on Project Gutenberg, download a free ebook and then upload it onto Amazon. That is a really dangerous thing to do, and you should never ever do that. Please read Amazon's terms on public domain books and how to upload them. You have to modify them. You can't just upload them as they are, and it explains it very well on Amazon what you have to do. So be very careful when you follow somebody's advice. Always double check that it's good advice and that it's the correct advice. Even my own advice, always double check. Don't trust anybody on YouTube, because unfortunately everybody can make mistakes, and it's your business, it's your KDP account, so you are responsible for what you do with it, and you really need to double check everything. So don't trust all these YouTubers, and that includes me. Always double check. So tip number 3, don't try and game the system. What does that mean? Don't try and manipulate the system. Basically, some people have been trying to get ahead on Amazon KDP by doing things that are not strictly what you are supposed to do. For example, let's talk about reviews. We all know that reviews for our books are very important, because the more reviews our books have, the better they rank on Amazon and the more chances of selling they have. So some people have been gaming the system by getting their friends or their family to review their books. Amazon knows that you're doing that. Amazon knows what accounts are connected. Anybody that has an Amazon account will know that Amazon knows everything that you do on that account. And if you're connected to somebody and you leave a review on their book, they will know that. Amazon has a very clever algorithm that can detect things like that very easily. So never get your friends or family to review your books, and also don't review your own books, which is what I've seen some people do. So you can't do that. And also don't buy reviews. I know that some people on Fiverr and places like that sell reviews and then they automate the system and leave reviews. That is also a really quick way to get your account flagged by Amazon and can cause you a lot of problems. So don't get false reviews and try and manipulate the system. The other way that some people manipulate the system is they use keywords in the author name. You can't create, for example, gratitude journals and then call your author name Pretty Gratitude Journals. I know in the past that was possible, but now Amazon are really not happy about that kind of author name. So your author name should really sound like a person's name, and then all you have to do is just check that that name hasn't already been used on Amazon, and you can just check that by typing in the name or by going on the advanced search option and search by author. So don't use any author names that already exist on Amazon, and don't put keywords in your author name. The other thing that falls under don't manipulate the system is don't open more than one KDP account. If you open more than one KDP account, Amazon will close down your accounts and you won't be able to ever open another one again. So that is one of the big no-nos. Don't have more than one KDP account. If you have family members that are using your computer and your internet, I would suggest try and speak to Amazon before you plan anything like that. Contact Amazon before they open their KDP account just to make sure that it's okay, and Amazon will tell you what you can do in that respect. But don't ever open a KDP account and then try and open another one, because that will get your account shut down. So avoid trying to game or to manipulate Amazon, because that is not the way to build your business. And if you haven't done so already, read Amazon's terms if you're starting your KDP business, because it's very important any time that you sign a legal contract that you actually read what's in the contract. And the other thing that I can also advise you of doing is that when you upload a book onto Amazon, a lot of people don't read the email that they get once their book becomes live, because that email actually answers a lot of the questions that I regularly get in my Facebook groups. So some people have been asking, well, how long does it take for the look inside feature to work? My look inside isn't working. So the email that you get once you publish a book will give you that information. So any email that you get from Amazon, please read it carefully because there is a lot of information in that. So I sometimes suspect that people are not reading those emails, and then we get all these questions in the Facebook group, which is okay. That's what we're there for. But I would suggest if you're running KDP as a business, make sure that you read everything that you get from Amazon, and that way you can avoid a lot of problems and you can stay informed. So thank you very much for listening. I hope it was helpful, and I'll see you again in my next video. Bye bye.